of TV23's Internet, provided by SWKO Wireless Internet. Covering the High Plains with news, weather, and information. From TV23 Studios in Sublet, this is High Plains Today.
Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday, January 24, 2018. Welcome to High Plains Today here on TV23. You know, on today's show, I'm going to be joined by Kasey Krueger. He is the Director of Marketing for Pioneer Communications. And you know what? We're going to talk about net neutrality. In the meantime, let's see what's happening. Earlier this month, Calvin Burke was named interim city manager of Liberal. He had served as water department director for several years before that. Now he is apologizing for some social media posts made that have upset some in the community. Since his appointment, the city has been made aware of some posts made last year on his personal Facebook page that are concerning some in the community. One post referenced grabbing women's breasts, while others using the slang version N-word and made racial stereotypes. Burke says when he posted Facebook, what do you expect? The state would be taking a get the funds reimbursed to use Master Federal Funds Exchange Agreement, road and bridge money allocated to the county by the federal not on federal aid route. The state of Kansas and KDOT make a cut 5%. The state is now. The Liberal City Commission met last evening, and after citizens from items from citizens approved an agreement with the FAA that had been worked out with former city attorney Shirley McQueen to bring closure to the land sale issue regarding the sale of the 7th Street property and the Walmart market. In the agreement, the city was given credits for money spent out of the general fund and 1-cent sales tax on the airport for different projects to improve it. Now, this brings closure to the issue between the city and the FAA on the sale of the property and the amount to be deposited into the land sale account. The Commerce Committee in the Kansas House mulled over a bill yesterday targeting third shift workers, night owl Kansans, and breakfast eaters drawn to consumption of alcoholic beverages in the early morning at bars and restaurants. Under House Bill 2482, liquor could be served an extra 3 hours each day at Kansas businesses. The window would be expanded from the current standard of 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. Service would broaden to 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. if the measure cleared the 2018 legislature and was signed by the governor. Not sure about that one. Governor Brownback is authorizing a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of those involved in the death of a woman who was found floating in a reservoir. Now, the governor issued an executive order yesterday in the case of 33-year-old Kasey Ann Easom of Miami, Oklahoma. She was found December 7th floating in the Elk Creek Reservoir in southeast Kansas and was later declared dead. Investigators say she was shot several times in the head. The executive order makes the reward offer effective immediately. And while we're talking about the governor, he thanked former congressional colleagues Friday for nudging the U.S. Senate hard enough to move on his nomination to be President Trump's ambassador at large for international religious freedom. Brownback, who has awaited this moment since nominated in July, said he appreciated the hard work of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Kansas Senators Jerry Moran and Pat Roberts to trigger preliminary action on the Senate floor. Brownback's nomination is expected to be put to a cloture vote Friday to set the stage for a final decision by the Senate. Now, if 51 Republicans and 49 Democrats, a party line vote in the Senate, would assure the confirmation. If affirmed by the Senate, he would resign as governor to begin his duties in the U.S. Department of State. State Senator Bud Estes welcomed Gilbert Stills Jr. to the state Senate yesterday. He is one of the Kansas Teachers of the Year, representing USD 443. Gilbert is a fourth grade teacher at Northwest Elementary in Dodge City. Estes said of Gilbert, quote, He is an outstanding individual who is involved within community involvement, professional development, and culture projects, as well as teaching and coaching. Well, congratulations, Gilbert Stills Jr., on your outstanding work for your school and your community. And it was bound to happen. No cashiers, no lines, no registers. This is how Amazon sees the future of in-store shopping. The online retailer opened its Amazon Go concept store to the public on Monday, selling milk, potato chips, and other items typically found at a convenience store. Amazon employees have been testing the store, which is at the bottom floor of the company's Seattle headquarters, for about a year. The public opening is another sign that Amazon is serious about expanding its physical presence. It has opened more than a dozen bookstores, taken over space in some Kohl's department stores, and they bought Whole Foods last year, giving it 470 grocery stores. All right, that's a look at some of the stuff that's happening out there. You know what? It's going to warm up. It's going to be breezy, but there's no moisture in the forecast. Back to the weather right after this.
You're watching High Plains Today on TV 23 with host Chris Jewell. TV 23's internet service and 4G live streaming provided by United Wireless. Coverage you deserve. Service you expect. United Wireless.
What if everything worked like those other guys?
Welcome to Awesome Burgers. If you would like to place an order, press 1. Please hold. You will be connected to the next available drive-thru attendant. Please place your order.
Yeah, I'll get it.
For Awesome Burger, press 1. For orange soda, press 7. For fries, press 15. For tomatoes, press 2. For ketchup, you have pressed an incorrect button. Please hold. Welcome to Awesome Burgers. If you would like to place an order...
At Pioneer Communications, you can talk to a real person ready to help. Call today for service you can rely on.
College is great, but before you enroll, which do you think is a better way to earn your degree? Live on campus in a dorm where you can't sleep, with a roommate you can't stand, attend lectures that you can't hear, with cafeteria food that you can't eat, or learn online at Independence University. On the porch with your puppy, in the kitchen with your kitten, on your bed with your bunny, your campus is wherever you want it to be. That's Independence University. And you'll also get a laptop and tablet to use in school, and you can keep them when you graduate.
1-800-274-8142.
Now, the local weather forecast for the High Plains.
All right, we are looking straight north on Dennis and all points north over Sublette today. Looking at the current readings here at the station, it's 48 degrees. Relative humidity is a little lower than it was yesterday, 31%. Winds are out of the south-southwest at 11. Not too bad. Barometric pressure is falling. Looking at the current temperatures around the viewing area, everybody in the 40s. We're going to see some higher temperatures today. Lamar, you're still at 37. Look at that. Perryton's already at 50. Guyman at 48. And it's just going to keep going up from there today. Current dew points, everybody is pretty dry out here. Now, there tomorrow, come Thursday, tomorrow, there is an extreme fire watch going on. It is just so dry out there, people, in our viewing area that you've got to be very, very careful. All right, looking at the winds right now, they're starting to ramp up, and they're going to ramp up into tomorrow. Going to be breezy tomorrow. But everybody pretty much in the teens. Garden City would be the windiest at 21. Looking at the highs and lows as recorded at the Garden City Regional Airport, we got to 47 yesterday. 71 back in 1976, 14 when you walked out yesterday morning, -9 back in 1963. Just still have that trace month to date in the bucket. All right, here's what we got in store for today. 61 is going to be our high. Winds are going to be picking up south-southwest at 20. Now you could see some higher temperatures the closer down, Liberal, Elkhart, you could see some higher temperatures than 61 today. Tonight, 25 for the overnight low, south winds at 11, and then tomorrow we're going to be really warm. Again, down around Liberal and Elkhart, you could see up into the 70s. Sunny, but look at what those winds are going to do. They're going to be gusting back up into the 40s. That's why that extreme fire danger is so high for tomorrow. Now, with all that warm air coming out of the southwest and there's no moisture in it, we're going to stay pretty warm tomorrow night for this season, this time of year. 33 the overnight low. Winds are going to lay down a little bit. They'll be back down into the teens. Then we do have a cold front that's going to, I say a cold front. We're going to go from 70 in Liberal down to into the 50s on Friday. But you can see on the 7-day, it's still going to be abnormally warm for this time of year. After all, it is January going into February. Yeah, there's no precipitation we're looking at for the next 7 days. That's a look at the weather. We'll be back with Kasey right after this.
That's the number of free phones still available and the number of how many Americans can still get prescriptions free.
Free could be wonderful.
That's why I'm still working at 77 years old to pay off my prescriptions.
I needed to have a prescription filled and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it.
Call now and see what's available for you. Free prescriptions. Over 10 million people get prescriptions free, and the program has expanded so another 40 million can. Free dental. Over 15,000 dentists have provided over $330 million in free dental work. Free cell phones. 40 million free cell phones are still available with free minutes and more.
Free cell phone would change my life right now because it is something I cannot afford to get.
Medical supplies like back braces, knee braces, and diabetic supplies may be covered too. The free RX Plus hotline has saved callers over $12 million on their prescription costs. These free programs are now available to 40 million more people. Call now.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free with no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage, at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-521-3583. That's 1-800-521-3583.
College is great, but before you enroll, which do you think is a better way to earn your degree? Live on campus in a dorm where you can't sleep, with a roommate you can't stand, attend lectures that you can't hear, with cafeteria food that you can't eat, or learn online at Independence University. On the porch with your puppy, in the kitchen with your kitten, on your bed with your bunny, your campus is wherever you want it to be. That's Independence University. And you'll also get a laptop and tablet to use in school, and you can keep them when you graduate.
1-800-274-8142.
Welcome back. I'm joined in studio by my good friend Kasey Krueger. He is the Director of Marketing, Pioneer Communications, Ulysses, Kansas, America.
That's right.
You guys cover, how many towns do you guys service?
Yeah, 23 communities.
23 communities, Southwest Kansas. You go clear up to Tribune.
Scott City, Sharon Springs, Tribune, go down to Hugoton.
All the way down to Hugoton.
Rolla, Richfield.
And everything in between.
That's right. Everything in between.
And Sublette. Sublette would be the only thing on this side of Highway 83.
Yep. Sublette's our furthest east.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's talk about net neutrality.
Let's do it.
Last month, now you told me you're not an expert, but between you and I, we probably know just enough to screw it up or
enough to be dangerous
or scare people.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So net neutrality, when it first was brought in, back in 2002, something like that?
2002 is when the idea kind of came into, the idea started floating around. But to tell you what net neutrality is net neutrality is the idea that all internet traffic is treated equally.
Right.
And whether that be Netflix, whether that be huge companies like Google, or whether that be a stay-at-home mom's blog from here in Sublette, Kansas, it's all treated equally.
Right.
There's no prioritization of any of it. It's all equal playing field. So that idea of kind of securing that came around in 2002. In 2010, the FCC released some rules and
rules
and regulations.
Rules in this deal.
Yep. And it immediately went to court for about 4.5-5 years. And then in 2015, that's when the rules got out of court and the rules took place. And then on December 14th,
right, last month.
So from 2015 to December 14, 2017, those rules were in place to keep everything a level playing field. And on December 14th, the FCC repealed that.
Okay, so when we talk the FCC, there's 5 commissioners that are presidential appointments, aren't they?
Correct.
And now this didn't go through Congress or anything like that. This was a vote of the FCC, those 5 people, and there happened to be 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And the Republicans are looking at that as, we want to do away with this.
Yep.
So you kind of know how the vote went, right?
Yep. So the Republicans.
So it's political.
Yeah, it's very political and it's very politically charged. But they voted to repeal net neutrality on December 14th, 2017. Next day, it went to court. So
I find that hard to believe.
So right now, it's back in court for who knows how long.
Probably a while.
Yeah.
So really, nothing has really happened because it's being held up in court.
It's being held in court, and it could be a year. It could be another 5 years. Who knows?
All right. So, but what this does, doing away with net neutrality, it's kind of if you are a big guy like Netflix or Google, Hulu, Time Warner, Comcast, all these biggies, then they can kind of control the playing field. Is that how this is going to play out?
Well,
if it gets through,
we'll see. So if the repeal passes, that's kind of what we think will happen. Maybe Pioneer Communications isn't big enough to be a big market player or a market influencer in this. So we'll kind of what they do. It's really going to depend on your Time Warners, your Comcast, your Verizons, your AT&Ts, and those big billion-dollar companies.
Right.
What they do. But the idea that what we think they might do is they will go to Netflix and say, hey, Netflix, you take up a huge amount of our network and you use a huge percentage of our bandwidth. We want you to pay a little bit more.
Well, yeah, because
right now they don't pay anything. So we want you to pay us to be first and for us to prioritize your data.
Okay, because you talk about Netflix. I mean, right now it shows that 60% or better of all internet traffic now, YouTube, whatever, Hulu, all that, right?
Yep. So for Pioneer Communications, about 45% of our on top of that, there's about 15 or 20 things like that. So about 60 to 70% of millions and millions of dollars every year. We just built Hugoton to keep up. It costs $5 million. Equipment in our core costs millions of dollars, and spending millions and millions and millions of dollars. Netflix is kind of getting a free ride on our
free ride. But what this wants to do, pay.
Correct. So what it also so paid priority would be, hey, Netflix comes and says, hey, I want to pay the pipe at an equal pay. But Netflix wants to get ahead of everybody. They want to be first.
Yeah, because if the pie is big, everybody gets that pie.
Correct.
But
Netflix wants a little bigger piece of the pie.
They want a bigger piece of the pie.
Yep.
So what that does, though, if they're willing to pay for the bigger piece of the pie, then, as you were saying, the little mom whatever blog in Sublette, Kansas is
it could
right?
It could slow her down a little bit.
Slow
It's
her
not
down.
There's no blocking or anything like that. But if Netflix is going first, she could get slowed down.
It's like there's a valve on the gate to the internet, and it just depends on Netflix. Okay, we'll open yours up, and over here say Hulu or somebody doesn't pay.
Yep.
We're going to turn Hulu's down.
Yep.
And so then people are going to be calling your internet service provider saying, this bummers all the time. Why is it doing that? There you go, right?
And it's important to note that for Pioneer Communications, when all these rules passed back in 2015, when all these rules changed in 2017, it doesn't matter to us because today we don't throttle, we don't block, we don't control anything.
Right.
It's just all wide open.
And pretty much, I mean, the majority of the ISPs around the country
Absolutely.
don't throttle.
No.
And I mean, people say, well, the more you get on, the more of this and blah, blah, blah. It really doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But it's just,
the internet's been around since 1997.
yes,
These rules
Al Gore invented it.
That's
remember?
right. These rules didn't take place until 2015. So from 97 to 2015, there was no net neutrality rules and everything was fine. Right?
Yeah,
So-
it was. I thought so.
Yeah. So really, we got a lot of customers asking, how does net neutrality affect Pioneer, and how is net neutrality going to affect them? And the answer is, at this time, it won't, because we don't throttle, we don't do any of that stuff. So we're not worried about it.
So if this does go through, I mean, this is going to be the big are going to get bigger, and it's going to kind of hurt the little startups and
Correct.
those types of things, and the people that want to post their blogs and stuff like that.
The example that we kind of use is Etsy.
Yes.
Etsy has grown into a pretty big website and kind of a social sharing place where you can go buy stuff. But without net neutrality, and say Amazon comes in and pays for prioritization, Etsy might not be what it is today. So there's different ways to look at it, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, because I would think the big ones in this will be Amazon.
That's we talked
Netflix.
about streaming, but Amazon could pay for prioritization, and you can have a better shopping experience.
I was going to say, yeah, with buying at Whole Foods and they're working on all that home delivery stuff and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's something where somebody like Amazon could come up and just kind of dominate the internet. Well, they got the capital to do it.
Yep, absolutely.
And they could really change the way the internet works and looks today, don't you think?
Yep, absolutely.
And Netflix, they're going to be right in there because there's so much programming that is done that is not done by the networks anymore. Mm-hmm. It's done by Netflix and Hulu and all these other things.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
Amazon and so yeah, this could really change the way the internet works and
Streaming
looks.
is changing the whole landscape.
It is.
It really is.
It's even changing how you watch daily TV.
Absolutely.
They always say viewership is going down, but you have so many devices now
I've
that
always
you
said
can't count.
the same amount of TV is getting watched. It's just split up now.
Yeah, it's on more different-
It's on
it's
the
on-
internet. It's over cable TV. It's on
your
your
phone.
iPad. Yep, absolutely.
You can watch TV wherever you go, going down the road. I won't mention who does that. Brian? No, not really. Yeah, Brian, our producer, he will go out and check our tower sites. Mm-hmm. And he has a TV in his pickup with an antenna. He goes out and goes, well, okay, we're working. So it's going to,
Yeah, and then another thing just to point out is, Time Warner, Comcast, Verizon, they're going to do what's best for their pocketbook.
Sure.
They report to Wall Street, they report to shareholders. They're going to do what's best that makes them the most money. I want to make sure that Southwest Kansas knows that as Pioneer Communications, we're a local cooperative. So we may not follow the same route as Time Warner, Verizon, some of them. We report to our members. We want to make the decision that's best for them.
that may be the same for
Correct.
internet providers.
Yep.
So, we don't know how they go.
Yeah, and
It's going to be like it may be tied up in court for a week.
There's lots of it's on it. So my recommendation would be go and do your
Okay.
on a trust.
All right. Thanks, Kasey.
40 million. That's the number of free phones still available and the number of how many Americans can still get prescriptions free.
Free could be wonderful.
That's why I'm still working at 77 years old to pay off my prescriptions.
I needed to have a prescription filled, and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it.
Call now and see what's available for you. Free prescriptions. Over 10 million people get prescriptions free, and the program has expanded, so another 40 million can. Free dental. Over 15,000 dentists have provided over $330 million in free dental work. free cell phones. 40 million free cell phones are still available with free minutes and more.
Free cell phone would change my life right now because it is something I cannot afford to get.
Medical supplies like back braces, knee braces, and diabetic supplies may be covered too. The free RX Plus hotline has saved callers over $12 million on their prescription costs. These free programs are now available to 40 million more people. Call now.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free with no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage, at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-521-3583. That's 1-800-521-3583.
Well, it was Big Tuesday in Norman last night. Oklahoma, they rallied back from about 13 down. They beat, they were ranked number 12. Kansas was ranked number 5. OU won 85-80. It was a sad night if you're a KU fan. All right, let's take a last look at our weather. It's warmed up. It's 50 degrees out. Relative humidity, though, is going down. It's 28%. Winds are starting to pick up out of the south-southwest at 16. Barometric pressure is still falling. Got a lot of high pressure hanging around, although you look at Friday, there's a low coming in out of the northwest. It's going to bring us some cooler air. Not much, but there's no precipitation on that 7-day, everybody. Go out and have a great day. We'll see you back here next time.
Keep up to date with the latest information from TV23 on our Facebook page, KDGL TV.
College is great, but before you enroll, which do you think is a better way to earn your degree? Live on campus in a dorm where you can't sleep, with a roommate you can't stand, attend lectures that you can't hear, with cafeteria food that you can't eat, or learn online at Independence University. On the porch with your puppy, in the kitchen with your kitten, on your bed with your bunny, your campus is wherever you want it to be. Heck, you could earn your degree while wearing your PJs or while eating BLT with your baby, because you don't go to college. College goes to you. Complete your courses around your schedule. That's Independence. That's Independence University. No alarm clocks, no snoring roommate, no loud parties keeping you up all night, no note on your door telling you to sleep somewhere else. Instead, learn online at Independence University. Get your degree, but keep your life. And you'll also get a laptop and tablet to use in school, and you can keep them when you graduate. Learn online from professional instructors with real work experience. You get professional support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Independence U, for an independent you.
1-800-234-3025.
40 million. That's the number of free phones still available and the number of how many Americans can still get prescriptions free.
Free could be wonderful.
That's why I'm still working at 77 years old to pay off my prescriptions.
I needed to have a prescription filled and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it.
Call now and see what's available for you. Free prescriptions. Over 10 million people get prescriptions free, and the program has expanded, so another 40 million can. Free dental. Over 15,000 dentists have provided over $330 million in free dental work. Free cell phones. 40 million free cell phones are still available with free minutes and more.
Free cell phone would change my life right now because it is something I cannot afford to get.
Medical supplies like back braces, knee braces, and diabetic supplies may be covered too. The free RX Plus hotline has saved callers over $12 million on their prescription costs. These free programs are now available to 40 million more people. Call now.
Portions of TV23's internet provided by SWKO Wireless Internet.